Keystone Heights is celebrating its Centennial Anniversary in 2025, and we thought the best way to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of such an amazing place would be to take a look back at the history of the city and how it was established.
Before Keystone Heights, Florida became a city, the land was full of beautiful forests, sparkling lakes, and sandy trails. Long ago, the Timucua Indian tribe lived in the area and cared for the land, hunting animals, fishing in the lakes, and gathering plants. There were no roads or buildings, just wide open nature and wildlife everywhere. Fort 11 was built in 1839 during the Second Seminole War. It was a small army camp north of Lake Geneva. The soldiers liked being there because they had fresh spring water to drink, cool breezes to keep them comfortable, and lots of animals nearby to hunt. This picture doesn't show the real Fort 11, but this gives an idea of what it might have looked like. The fort was about the size of a football field and had tall wooden walls 18 feet high, two guard towers, stalls for horses, storage buildings, and places where the officers lived.
In the 1920s, a train line ran through Keystone Heights, Florida, and it played a big part in the town's early growth. The tracks passed right through Keystone Heights, making it easier for people to travel and for business to ship goods in and out of the area. The train brought many visitors from places like Jacksonville and Gainesville, many of whom were drawn to the cool lakes and natural beauty. The train also brought building supplies, mail, and other goods that were hard to get before. At times, riding the train was a big adventure, and it helped connect Keystone Heights to the rest of Florida and beyond. How the city was started. It all started in 1918 in a small town called Brooklyn. Brooklyn was just a train stop on the Georgia Southern and Florida Railway. People could get off the train, stay the night at the Brooklyn Hotel, and catch the next train in the morning. Well, it wasn't until one day when John Lawrence, a developer from Pennsylvania, stepped off the train and decided that Brooklyn was going to be better than a pit stop.
John and Agnes Lawrence's house, built in 1921.
John Lawrence thought the area was wonderful, and he wanted to invite his friends, family, and colleagues to come and enjoy all that the city had to offer. Keystone Heights wasn't made to be a big, busy city. It was built to be a calm and happy place where people could come during the winter to relax, have fun with friends, enjoy nature, and do things that help them learn and feel good inside and out. The first place John Lawrence developed in Keystone Heights was the Keystone Inn. It opened in 1923 and was a wonderful place for those visiting the area nearby. The Keystone Inn. The original development plan for the city of Keystone Heights as designed by the Lawrence Developing Company. John Lawrence, along with his brothers CJ and Jesse, formed the Lawrence Developing Group and invited like-minded friends and family to the area to create a city that would be centered around friendship, nature, music, and learning. Together, they built more than just homes. They built a foundation of a special place worth celebrating 100 years later.
One of the first buildings in Keystone Heights.
The first residents of Keystone Heights. Many of the first families to Keystone Heights were connected to John Lawrence through family, college, or his hometown of Medville, Pennsylvania, especially in Crawford County. John Lawrence and his wife Agnes, who was a chiropractor, built their home in 1920 overlooking Lake Geneva. These are the early residents of Keystone Heights posing in front of Lake Geneva.
Activities in Keystone Heights. These first families formed a vibrant and active community. They played cards and danced at the pavilion, gathered for musical performances in the evenings, and even put on theatrical productions that brought the community together. Visitors and residents also frequented a local golf course, swam and fished in many excellent lakes, and could take a boat tour aboard the Blue Lantern on Lake Geneva.
Keystone Heights Golf Course. Keystone Beach on Lake Geneva. The Keystone Beach Pavilion and the Blue Lantern Tour Boat. The Blue Lantern boat carried people for a ride on Lake Geneva.
Activities in Keystone Heights. The Keystone Inn also welcomed guest speakers, traveling performers, and talented musicians who put on shows and concerts for the people staying there during the winter. One of John Lawrence's friends, Senator Frank P. Miller, helped make Keystone Heights the winter home of Florida Chautauqua, which focused on lifelong learning, moral uplift, and civic culture classes, lectures, and performers that enriched the entire community were offered.
This promotional brochure highlights the attractions of Keystone Heights during the 1920s, emphasizing its appeal as a resort destination. Life in Keystone Heights was full of fun and learning, and that is what made the town so special. People came together to enjoy music, dance, and share ideas with one another. Even when times were tough, like during the Great Depression, the town still had concerts, dances, and friendly get togethers that helped everyone stay happy and close. Home on Lake Geneva in 1920. In 1915, Brooklyn Hotel was established with the town of Keystone Heights. In 1919, Lawrence developed a development company for the town to build houses. In 1924, Keystone and a small Delco plant and a lumber mill were built. In 1925, a tourist camp and power plant were built. In 1926, a big hit, the Keystone Golf Course, was opened.
First stores and businesses. These first establishments played a significant role in shaping the early economic and social landscape by attracting new residents and visitors to Keystone Heights.
The Keystone Lumber Company was located where the Walgreens is today. You can see the railroad tracks in the picture on the left. Building materials were shipped in and out of Keystone Heights using the railway that ran through the town.
In 1924, a one-room schoolhouse was built just south of the lumber yard on State Road 100. Students of all ages learned together in this room. High school students met in the Brooklyn Hotel. The first graduating class of Keystone Heights was in 1944 and only had 2 students, both girls. Keystone Heights Elementary was originally built for all students in grades kindergarten through 12th grade. In 1965, the 7th through 12th grade students moved to a junior-senior high school, and the elementary students remained on the original campus.